Hello and welcome back to my RC channel. I'm Andy RC and today I'm checking out the Excelvan X218S. So this, in my eyes, is a very low cost, ready to fly 5-inch that has all of the features of the higher end models out there. And at the making of this video it cost just £138 or around $184, which is pretty amazing for what you get, I think. I mean, I've spent that much on a frame before in the past, and even though it doesn't have a brand name, I'm seeing the SkyStars motors and the Fury B CCD camera, so I have an inkling that it's from the same team that came up with the SkyStars X120 and the Halifar X140 Pro. And that's good news because those models were really good as well. And I could be wrong, but I think this is the first low-cost 5-inch to have smart audio for the VTX. And it's TBS smart audio over Tramp, which is usually a bit more reliable in my experience. So the frame is slightly stretched. We have individual 4mm thick arms, and there's no play in the frame whatsoever. It comes with these TPU bumper motor protectors, which for once I think are actually useful. They have this bendy crumple zone, so I think it would be good for newcomers in a crash. But they do add a little bit of weight, so the copter weighs 330 grams with the props on, which doesn't make it a lightweight, but it's not overly heavy either. I would say it's an average weight. The motors seem a really nice quality. They are a 2306 2500 kV SkyStars branded motor with a naked bottom. There's no hollow shaft, but there does seem to be a different material used down the middle, and there's a C-clip underneath rather than a hex screw, but again, for this price I don't think there's anything to be worried about there. The motors are held in with 3 screws, and that hasn't been a problem either. The props it comes with are a 50-43, so I would say they are a freestyle prop, and I've stuck some Dell Cyclone 50-46 props on there, which are a little more aggressive in pitch, but I think they are more suited to this copter. But you are given 2 sets of the stock props in blue and black. The motors also have this nice two-tone braiding for the wires, and those are soldered to a 30-amp BL Heli S D-Shot 600 4-in-1 ESC board. Now, the solder does look a little bit dull, but I'm not really concerned. The joins look fine. I think it's more to do with the solder that they have used. Now, according to the specs, the ESCs will take from a 4 to 6S battery, and we have a long XT60 connector coming out of the back. However, the flight controller is listed as only accepting up to a 4S. But oddly, I think the flight controller is listed wrong because it's listed as a micro F4 flight controller. And this is a 30x30 Omnibus F4 SD as the target. And I was trying to find a link to it, but I couldn't find anything. It has this graphic on the side, which is barely a word, so who knows, perhaps it can take higher voltages, but I wouldn't risk it. And with these motors being 2500 kV, I think 4S is where it's at with this one. So the flight controller is actually mounted upside down, and it has a 180-degree board alignment in Betaflight, so look out for that if you're upgrading. It also takes a micro SD card for black box, and it has Betaflight on-screen display, and it's also soft mounted as well, which is a nice touch. It pretty much needs a full setup in Betaflight, so if you aren't accustomed to Betaflight, then this model isn't for you, but I'd say that was true for all Betaflight capable models. It's got its own custom PIDs in there, which are pretty good for a 1300 mAh 4S, but as I've switched to 1500 mAh, it needs the P's dialing down a little bit. It's also got custom rates in there at around 0.85. I run at around 0.8, so I've dialed that down a little bit just to suit my style. The on-screen display had the artificial horizon turned on, which I never like, so I've turned that off. There were also no modes set up, so I've added those in, and things like anti-gravity, dynamic filters, and air mode were all turned off. So as I say, it pretty much needs a full setup. There's no current sensor on this board either, or should I say, if there is one, then it's not connected up. Now, one thing to note is that there is no beeper or LED installed. However, they have given a separate board to plug into the back of the flight controller. I couldn't find anywhere suitable to mount it though, so I'm using D-Shock commands instead for a lost model alarm. And then above that we have the VTX, so it's a 48 channel switching VTX, and it switches from 25 milliwatt up to 600 milliwatt. It does have buttons on the side, but it's using TBS Smart Audio, and that's already set up in Betaflight, and that is working really well. It's also using a MMC-X connector, which leads to a RPSMA connector, and that is housed nicely in this TPU printed mount, and you are given this stubby antenna as well, which fits really nicely. So this is the bind and fly version, and it comes with a XM Plus with the international firmware on it. I've actually had to reroute the receiver through the stack as the wire wasn't quite long enough to reach around the side of the stack, and there's not much room in here for the receiver either, so I took the top plate off and routed it through the back, and that works fine. It's also available as a plug and fly, and it's also available as a kit if you want to build it yourself. And I had to add the cable ties and the heat shrink for the antennas, although they do give you some of those in the package, along with 2 larger cable ties and a battery plate. You are also given a silicone mat so that your battery doesn't slip. That's something I'm always a fan of in these kits. It's usually something that, you know, a lot of companies miss out. And while on the same subject, you're given this pre-installed grippy battery strap, which is a really nice quality. Now, it doesn't come with a battery, so I'm going to be using the Tattoo 4S 1550 mAh. And lastly, we have the camera up the front, which is a CCD camera with a 2.3mm lens attached to it. And that is mounted to some more TPU 3D printed material, and I really like this camera. It's been used in a lot of the Fury Bee models, and it's not far behind the Runcam Micro Swift in terms of quality. And as for value for money, I think I struggle to build something like this for the price. So let's get and take it for a fly and see how it performs. So the video feed is really clean, and that gets a big thumbs up from me. There is a slight artifact on the video in general, and I think it's a trait of this VTX. So if you look at parts of the horizon, there are some small black lines which are always there. It's not a big deal for me, and it's not debilitating at all, and it's only something I noticed when I landed, actually. The video reception is okay. I tend to find that these stubby antennas struggle a little more as they don't have the height above the copter, so I think a longer antenna would give better reception. Now, the model flew really nicely, and it had plenty of speed as well. This flight was done on a really windy day, so the speeds are a little bit inconsistent, but it topped out around 94 mph, which I think is impressive for this price point. And I dare say that with even more aggressive props, such as the 5150 props, it would start to match those top-end models such as the Hawk 5 and the HLRC Batman. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. There's very few negatives here, and I think for the price it is a steal, and if they keep the specs the same for the customer, then this is a winner for me. So I'll leave you with some flying, and as always, thanks so much for watching. Please continue to subscribe. Cheers.
Sometimes when you're here, I can feel no doubt, 'cause you keep me where the stars are bound. It doesn't really matter 'cause I feel